Hey guys, it's Angel. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're looking at the DC Designs Model 75 Boeing Stearman. Now, this is a plane I've really always had a love affair with in terms of biplanes. It's a classic American basic trainer from the interwar and post-war eras, of course. Many ended up in civilian hands. Now, 10,000 plus, I think. Quote me on that, don't quote me on that. Were built. Originally from like the 30s, mid-30s to early, I think it was 1934. Now, it was either called the Cadet or the Stearman, Boeing Stearman, those variations used by the US, the Canadians. It was a very popular aircraft. Very common to become a aerobatic wing-walking aircraft and a crop duster as well. So, in fact, it was the plane a lot of post-war and now civilian pilots bought, having trained on them originally. So, it became very popular for that. Now, this comes with some very cool features in that if I reach down here, from reading the manual included, I can sit at that tab. And now my crew is vintage. Yeah. So I can literally select between having the modern and see my normal flight sim pilot and the retro crew. So you can have a little bit of time travel. We're here up in Italy in the top of the Alps. It's about a bit high for the Stearman, but I wanted something grass. This is the one grass strip that I know for certain I have. DC Designs have done a very good job with this. It is beautifully made. The texturing there's a little strange. Not the highest poly on the corners, but it's not bad. The appearance is pretty nice though. I must say the engine looks a little bit splattered by oil. Not a very well looked after aircraft, as is the prop, it seems, so we may have had some sort of engine excursion at some point, but we'll have to see. Now, overall, modelling is good, really like it. It's available on the marketplace and from Just Flight and a couple other places, so you'll be able to find it there. It cost me £10, or just over that, so a very valuable price, I think, for what you're getting. Simple aircraft, really. Let's flip her on, shall we? So, battery on, and I'm using my Honeycomb Alpha yoke system here. So some aircraft I've noticed have a problem with the actual mag switch on this, so we'll have to see if they have a custom starter setup. This has a starter button, so we'll have to find out. So we'll set this to both. We'll open the fuel shutoff there. We'll cycle some of our flight sim controls to make sure the sim knows they exist, including the trim wheel there. Now I'm preparing for the rudder dance on this aircraft, so let's go for a startup, shall we? Wonder if the button works. Give it a bit of gas. I don't think it's going to. There's something I must have missed here. This does normally happen, so we'll have to hope it's not that. Let's try the actual starter button instead. Oh, do we need to prime it? We have a sound effect. Maybe priming it does something. Not sure. Did not read manual, because, why would I do that? There we go. Kick it again. Probably something really rudimentary I'm missing. Oh, wait. It was already on. I'm stupid, it seems, but we all knew that. So let's keep the engine operating there with a bit of gas, and we are largely ready to rock. So we want the control lock off, so we have full authority over our control surfaces. There we go. Now I have to grab the pillow under my desk that's covering my rudder pedals that I put my feet on. Yeah, we have good control authority. So it's time to rock and roll with the Stearman. Parking brake is off. Let's get ourselves maneuvering here, shall we? Like I said, we're at 5,000 feet, so it's going to be a little trickier than normal. But I'm down for the adventure. It's a grass field. I had to take off from grass to the Stearman. Plus, this will make me look like a more competent pilot when dealing with the crazy kick that the rudder often gives you. This is something I could fight a lot easier if I actually had the sensitivity set to a more normal level, but my rudder sensitivity is really low due to flight sim making the rudders overly twitchy. So let's go for this thing, shall we? Take off here. push the nose down. That's a tree, isn't it? Let's turn past that. There we go. Oi, and we're off. Whee! Very thin air up here, so lift is going to be a minimum, so I want to keep her... Cut the mixture a lot down here. Electronics are actually on now. And the aircraft is beautiful. Now, it's going to be a little bit more placid with the altitude, not liking that, so we're not going to push the engine too hard here. But we've got about 60 knots and we're climbing out. And we are putting about 200 feet per minute climb rate in. I'm going to bring her around over the field. I have noticed it's very, very sensitive, which isn't a bad thing. But it does make it a bit twitchier. So, they're meant to be a responsive aircraft, so we'll go with that. I will say it flies quite stable. As much as it's twitchy and responsive, it feels like at the same time, you can just let go of it and it... That's my trim's right. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, like I could roll it quite quickly. Can't do that for long with gravity-fed tanks. And she behaves quite nicely, so... There we go, let's bring her around. We're at full throttle right now. So the aircraft will do what you ask it to do. I'm not going to necessarily attempt to loop, although I might. We'll see. We haven't got a lot of airspeed here, so it could be a very dangerous prospect. You know what, we'll do it into the valley. I've got to do a loop in Stearman. To push the nose down. Hearing the wind whistles, gorgeous. There we go. And bring her nose up again. That's actually really responsive. I love that. Now here's our field. I'm not going to put it down just yet. I'll probably do another quick loop around the side here to make sure that we have the room. Remember, I'm operating at 5,500-ish feet above sea level in the Italian Alps. Why? Because it's, again, the only grass strip I know that I have in the sim, and I really wanted a grass strip for this. I will say the noticeable rudder dance was much gentler in this aircraft than it is in some, so bonus there. Let's take a look on the outside as we fly. Look at that plane, that is gorgeous. Now if I go to here, and go to my weight, and if I go to the co-pilot and change this to 100, does that actually work? No. I think it has to be 110. Did that put someone in there? It did. There we go. So we have now a passenger in the front seat. I wonder how that affects our vision. You don't see one in the virtual cockpit, apparently, which is quite interesting that I see her there, but I don't see her there. Interesting. Okay. Right, we're going to bring her back to the airfield now. We don't need to be up for long with this. So I'm going to bring the power back here now. Noticeable, we don't have flaps. So that is something you will be aware of. But you have got two wings, so two for the price of one, right? So it's eye up the field. I want to make a longer approach here with this being high altitude. I want to make sure all my steps are slightly lower because everything can happen a lot quicker with thinner air and much, much less power. So I'm not going to have the strength to really go around. We have got a 200 horsepower engine in this thing, so it's a very powerful aircraft for its size. And I'm landing on a grass strip uphill in a plane I've never ever landed before, so wish me the best of luck. And it's also a tail dragger with a long nose and I'm in the rear cockpit, so that means the nose will be very high and my chances of having forward visibility are quite low. So we need to account for that. So that tree there is my reference for touchdown. There. So power on here. We're at 6,000 feet descending. Keep that tree in the windshield of the student pilot windshield at the front. Okay, a little drift there. Cut the power. And we're going to drift down here. Bleeding speed quite quickly. I want to put a little notch back on here as the ground's rising up to meters, so I'm misjudging my approach angle. There we go. Let's bleed some more speed off here. And we'll gently touch her down there. Apply strong brakes to start with, keeping the elevator all the way back. And I'm going to ease off the brakes as we slow down and just gently dab them. And I cut my engine because I didn't have to keep power on, but that's given. And we managed to roll to a nice stop here now. That was enjoyable. This plane is fun to fly. It's got great visibility, hugely great visibility. This will be amazing in VR. It gives you so much opportunity to see things, to experience things. A lot of other biplanes like the Waco, for example, from Coronado, lots and lots of stuff around you. The cockpit's quite high walled and the windshield is quite thick. So compared to that, for a biplane, this is my favourite in terms of visibility and experience. The touchdown was gentle. The aircraft responded really well. Obviously, you can see there the fabric aft fuselage there. This is metal around the cockpit section. But it was enjoyable because it gave me a lot of freedom. It was responsive. It wanted to do what I asked it to do, and it didn't try and kill me, which is a good start. For the price, what's going to be maybe $12, $15 maximum, and UK I think it was about £10. This is a good buy. Now, there are some bits of texture I'm not too happy with. This bit here could be higher quality. It's really close to the pilot. That's where you want to put the most investment in high resolution textures. Things lower on the aircraft, you don't need to worry about too much. You're not going to see them as close up. But the interior does need more. The texture around the seat, that's mapped weirdly where it's pulling the texture there. So they mapped the front of it basically, and it's pulled the texture in. I can see stretching there, so not that nice for the seat. And this could be higher. That's kind of okay, but it could be a little bit better. Again, I'm quibbling here. This, for the price, it is good. And the fabrics effect there is, the zip style effect is kind of accurate, so I'll give them that. And there's a pulled poly there I can see. Naughty, naughty. Yeah. Sorry, I see these things. I'm a developer, so I spot the mistakes. But overall, really cool little plane. Very simple to operate, easy to fly, forgiving, but will give you a real kick for aerobatics and give you something to do, which is what we all look for in a flight sim aircraft, right? We want a plane that can really give us a good enjoyment to something. I found doing some basic aerobatics there, it didn't really fight me. It did exactly what I asked. Now, again, if I was at sea level, it'd be much easier. I'd have more power, so mileage may vary. It did really well at 6,000 feet, so not bad. Recommendation? Definitely a good buy. You can get this again from Just Flight and the Marketplace, so enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.